Alright guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another Pokemon Sword and Shield video. And today I thought we'd just go through the entire Pokedex, or at least all of the new Pokemon that were introduced, and I just give my opinion and thoughts on all of them. I actually did this a while back when the full Pokedex for Pokemon Sword and Shield leaked, but I took that video down for obvious reasons. So I thought we'd just go ahead and tackle the subject again, but also because most of my opinions on all of these Pokemon have changed. Simply from using the Pokemon on my team in game or seeing them in battle changed my opinion for sure. So this is like my opinion. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you go ahead and drop a like down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more Pokemon Sword and Shield content. And also don't forget to leave your personal top 5 favorite Pokemon Sword and Shield mons in the comments below. Alright, with all that out of the way, here we are. Here is the entire new Pokedex, or all the new Pokemon in Sword and Shield. This is off of Cerebi, so thank you Cerebi, but you know, I feel like everyone uses Cerebi at this point. So either way, okay, I think we should just honestly start from Grookey and go all the way down. So let's just go ahead and do that. Starting off, I didn't pick Grookey. Like I said, I was Team Grookey before, but I changed that because I wanted to use a different grass type on my team, being Flapple. But Grookey, up until like 2 weeks before Sword and Shield, was going to be my starter, and honestly, if I picked Grookey, I was not disappointed at all with the final evolution, as well as the whole evolution line, really. Like, Quacky is super cool, Rillaboom is dope, the name Rillaboom is sweet, although I would have preferred Bongorilla. Like, that is just so much cooler in my opinion, but Rillaboom is super dope. This evolution line is sweet, not gonna lie. Grassy Surge is also an interesting hidden ability to have, so that's cool, but yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on that line. Next up, we have the Scorbunny evolution line, and Raboot, by the way, is just one of the best looking middle evolutions I think I've ever seen. Just, it's so smug, it's simple, like it's the perfect bridge between Scorbunny and Cinderace, I think. So shout out to Raboot for just existing. This evolution line looks great. Cinderace, I think this is probably my favorite looking evolution line out of the 3. It's really close though. It's really close, but I think this one does take the cake. I don't know, it's just something simple about it, and it just looks really cool. Also, Library, I don't know how to say the hidden ability, but it's pretty much Protean. So, as soon as that comes out, we can get the hidden ability, like, legitimately. I'm not sure if you can right now. Then Cinderace is going to be broken. Honestly, even more broken than it already is. Next up, we have the evolution line that I actually did use, being Sobble, Drizzile, and Inteleon. And it was a really fun Pokemon to use. A lot of people criticized me, especially like Nexus and Nick, for picking this mon, simply because a lot of people don't like Inteleon. But I can kind of get it. Like, I mentioned this in my, my other video about Pokemon and Sword and Shield. I mentioned that a lot of people don't like slender looking Pokemon. Inteleon is definitely a slender looking Pokemon. I just feel like the skinniness makes him look weird to people, and I kind of get it. But I think my homie Bubble07 over here, by the way, it's not my nickname, but that's the best nickname I've ever seen. Bubble07. That's a genius. He, like, Snipe Shot. He's literally James Bond. So yeah, I think this is honestly a really cool Pokemon. It grew on me for sure after using it. So if you're on the side of, I hate the Sobble squad now, no Drizzile, no Inteleon, just use it once. Just use it. You might end up liking it. That's what happened with me. Moving on to the early route, like, normal type Pokemon in the game. Definitely not a fan of this one. I wasn't a fan of the last, like, I wasn't a fan of Young Goose in Gen 5. I wasn't a fan of Patrat. Very uncommon for me to like the early on normal Pokemon, and this one is no exception to that. Greedent is, however, hilarious though. Greedent is super funny. I think Diggersby is probably, I think I like Diggersby more than Greedent. But Greedent is definitely, I just like it because it's funny. Squirvet's just a little, it's a little squirrel, like. There's not too much to say about these Pokemon. They're not that great. Also, I didn't see anyone use one in a playthrough, but you know what? It's a funny looking guy. That's pretty much all I gotta say. Next up, Rookidee, Corvisquire, and Corviknight. This is a awesome early game evolution line for the bird Pokemon. I don't think it's the best bird, like early bird evolution. I think the Staraptor's line, excuse me, kind of is. I like it more. All right, I'm gonna say that right now. I like Staraptor's evolution line more, but Corviknight's evolution line is really close. Like, every Pokemon here is cool. I love how throughout the evolution line it gets more dark and emo without being a dark type, actually, so that's interesting. And also, they finally decided to go ahead and have a pure flying type other than Tornadus and Rookidee and Corvisquire, which is great. I don't see why all of these early route bird Pokemon had to also have the normal typing. Pidgey could have just been a flying type Pokemon. We all know that. Fletchling could have just been a flying type Pokemon. Or what type is Fletchling? Whatever. And that's not a bird right now. But yeah, so they finally decided to go pure flying with these Pokemon, and I'm a huge fan. Next up, we have the early route bug Pokemon, and I think it's super cool that they made it psychic. Like, bug poison is normally what we see, but bug psychic is really, really interesting, and it's kind of what I think Butterfree should have been, but either way. Orbital and its evolution line, Dottler's super cool. Blipbug, it's creepy. I don't really like it that much, but however, I think it's worth catching just to simply get Orbital or Dottler. However, I did try to use one of these in my playthrough, and I was kind of set on getting an Orbital until I figured out, that it evolved at level 30. So Dottler evolves at level 30, which is pretty late for an early game bug type. Usually it's like level 7 and then level 10, but I guess they decided to go with that for this. Probably because Orbital is better than some of those early game bug Pokemon like Butterfree or Pichu, but either way, that's my opinion on that. It's really cool. I'm glad they actually made a Ladybug Pokemon that's not super bad. You know, like Ledian, excuse me, is not the best Pokemon in the world. So finally, the animal or the insect gets some justice. Next, we have Nickit and Thievul. Not too much to say about these. I think they're cool. I think Nickit is way cooler than Thievul. Just something about it looks a little odd to me. Its whole body is cool, but the face is just a little off. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know what Stakeout does. I am not really aware. Guess Kirby doesn't want to load. Okay, we'll figure it out another time. But that's cool. Fox Pokemon. I think I still prefer the Fennekin line as the Fox Pokemon, but you know what? It's not a bad addition to the Pokemon roster. Next, we have Gossifleur and Eldegoss. Not too much of a fan of these guys. I know some people are. Especially in my Discord server, but I just can't really get past this Pokemon. Gossifleur is beautiful, I will say that. This is a really, really cool Pokemon. It's all big-headed, it's a dandelion, I get it, but I don't know. Regenerator is really cool, at least it does have that, it has a good ability. This could be a really good utility Pokemon, it has a good special defense stat as you can see, but I don't know, design-wise, they're just not really my favorite. Wooloo and Dubwool, though, these are all, I freaking love how Wooloo's evolution turned out. I just think, like, it could have been so bad. They could have honestly made Wooloo not evolve, and I would have been very, very upset. Like, this looks like a Pokemon that needs to evolve, it needs to get more menacing, and it definitely did. Dubwool is so cool. I really wanted to use this on my team. I just saw a lot of people using it, so I decided to step away from the group. But when I play through Pokemon Shield, I think I will use this. Pretty sure. But yeah, solid mon, like 8 out of 10 for sure. Next up, we have Choodle and Dreadnought. I don't like Choodle. I think it's weird looking. I think it's really weird. But Dreadnought's beast. Dreadnought's sweet. He's definitely out of like Super Mario or something like that. But Choodle, it's just a little weird looking, man. I know they tried to make like the cute turtle, one tooth. I get it. I so get it. Trust me. it's just not that cute to me. It's just a little weird, like, I can't really describe it. All right, moving on though, we have Yamper and Boltund. Boltund, I love this. Bolt is like one of my favorite Disney movies, by the way, and seeing him actually pretty much come to life is just, this is the closest we can get to having Bolt in a Pokemon game, and it's perfect. It looks amazing. Also, having competitive and strong draw, not too bad of like, either of those abilities could work in a playthrough or in competitive, something like that. It's a fast Pokemon, you can give it choice specs or something, and you might be able to dish out some heavy damage with it. But I did use it towards the early end of my playthrough, and I had a great time. I had a great time using this. I did end up wanting to use Toxtricity later in the playthrough, but for the time being, Yamper and Boltund, they were great Pokemon to use, and yeah, they're solid. Next up, we have Roly-Poly, Carkol, and Colossal. Now, I will say I like Roly-Poly significantly more than either of these Pokemon. It doesn't really look like Roly-Poly should evolve into Carkol. Like, everything is correct. Like, it makes sense, like, the color scheme's correct. You know, it's a rock, it evolves into a minecart, but just something about it doesn't look right. Like, I can totally see how Carkol evolves into Colossal, but Roly-Poly into Carkol doesn't really make sense. Colossal's a weird-looking Pokemon. It kind of looks like Marge Simpson. That's what I see immediately with the hair, you know? It's a Magmortar fused with Marge Simpson. That's kind of what I'm going with. Not my favorite. Roly-Poly's cool. It's just like a little rock. I can't really say anything too much about it. Not a fan of Carkol and Colossal, though. Definitely some of my least favorite Pokemon from the generation. But here's some of my favorite Pokemon from the generation. We have Applin, Flapple, and Appleton, which is, I love it. It's so simple. It's just a worm that crawled into an apple, and yet it's amazing. I love it. I used a Flapple because I had Pokemon Sword, and it's a version exclusive evolution, and I loved using it. It has, what's it called? Apple Drop, is that the move? Or something drop, but it's a reference to, like, you know, what was it, like Newton getting the apple like fell on his head or something. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but that's pretty much what I think it is. So I thought that was really cool, and nevertheless, it was just a really fun Pokemon to use. It's super cool looking, and it's something so simple as an apple can be so adorable. I love that. Also, Flapple is like the funniest name ever. Flapple? I think I've said that before already in a video, but it's great. Next up, we do have Silicobra and Sandaconda, some other Pokemon that I decided to use on my team, and really fun Pokemon. Sandaconda actually hits like a truck. You can actually get a lot of good ground moves too from doing the Sandaconda raids, or like Gigantamax Sandaconda raids. So if you do want to go ahead and get like Earthquake on this Pokemon early on, you can do that from just getting like the TR, the TM, or something like that. But I definitely had fun using these Pokemon, and I'm so glad that they made another snake. I love snake Pokemon, and it's amazing. It's a Cobra and an Anaconda. I love it. Next up, we have Cramorant, definitely one of my favorite Pokemon that was introduced, just because how silly it looks. It looks so funny. I definitely want to get around to shiny hunting this Pokemon, just because having a shiny one would totally be like a trophy to me. But either way, this Pokemon is so funny. He reminds me of like the Mine Seagulls from Nemo, or Finding Nemo. Also, Gulp Missile is a really funny ability. I think when you use Surf or Dive, the Pokemon comes back with something in its mouth, and you can use that to attack. But either way, unfortunately, its stats aren't that great, but I think just the overall design of the Pokemon is enough for me. I love it. It's super dope. That's like a 9 out of 10 easy. That's a solid Mon right there. Solid Mon. Next up, we have Kuda, and Barraskewda. I don't know why I said it like that. But I have been saying for a long time, I want a Barracuda Pokemon. Okay? I know you played Guitar Hero 3. Okay? I know you played Barracuda on there. Alright? This is the embodiment of that song. Ooh, Barracuda. Alright, anyways, but yeah, okay. This Pokemon is dope. I didn't use one on my team. I just couldn't find one. I didn't know where to get it, and I just never really asked, and I forgot to. But I really wish I used it, because if you look at this speed stat, it is 136. It doesn't look like this Pokemon would be that fast. But its Propeller Tail ability is awesome too. It's got Swift Swim. This Pokemon is sweet. I'm so glad they made a Barracuda, and I'm so glad they did it well too, because it could have been a bad Barracuda, and I would have been very, very upset. Next up, we do have Toxiel and Toxtricity. There are two forms of Toxtricity, and I actually do know which determines the like which form you get now. I didn't when I was doing my playthrough, but it's dependent on the nature of your Toxiel. I think more of the attacking natures will give you the this one right here. I think this is the amped form, and then the other ones will give you the low-key form. Whatever natures don't give you the amped form will give you the low-key form. If that doesn't make sense, obviously. Anyways, Toxiel, you get this Pokemon fairly early on. I was very surprised. You get it right at the daycare, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, I need to use this on my team for at least a little. I don't know when it evolves, but Toxtricity is such a cool Pokemon. I've said that this was one of the Pokemon I wanted to use on my team, and I did finish the game with it, and I'm so glad I did. I've mentioned this Pokemon plays the guitar, alright, on its chest. Well, actually, the Amp form plays the guitar, and there are 4 things on the low-key form, so it's like a bass. There's 6 on the, what's it called, Amped, and then 4 on the low-key form. So it's like, the dude's playing guitar, the other one's playing the bass. That's so cool! I was sold immediately as I noticed that, and Toxtricity, Toxiel, great Pokemon. I love music Pokemon, what's not to like? Next up, we have Sizzlipede and Centiskorch, another Pokemon that I decided to use on my team, and this dude he's the boys, man. He is such a friend. He's such a good boy, too. Like, he's got his mustache, his fire mustache. He's he's a centipede that you actually want in your house, I think. Like, he's kind of a friend. He's a good friend. Sizzlipede, not like, its design is cool. For what it's worth, it's supposed to evolve into Center Scorch, so I can't really knock its design. Like, it's clear what it's supposed to be next, so whatever. But yeah, great mods. I had a lot of fun using them. I don't think I finished the game with them. However, there is a Gigantamax Center Scorch, which I will be hunting soon. Because I've been trying to get all the Gigantamax Pokemon at my off time. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get that, and then I'll have the actual roller coaster. Because he just looks like a roller coaster from Cedar Point or Six Flags, and I think that's hilarious. Next up, we have Klava Puss, which I don't know who named that, but that's the funniest thing. That sounds like an awful pickup line. But anyways, then we have Graplock too. These dudes are hilarious. The Pokedex entry for Klava Puss is hilarious too. It's like, this Pokemon is as smart as a 3rd grader or a 3-year-old or something, and its arms get ripped off, but it doesn't care because they grow back. It's like the most, oh, okay, Pokedex entry ever. It's like, what did I just read? I didn't get to use these mons just because I had a full team by the time you encountered them, and it's pretty late in the game. But if I used them, I bet I would have had fun. They look awesome. Like I said, this Pokemon evolves by taunt, and someone said the reason for that is because it's based off of like a luchador, it's based off of like, you know, a fighter, and they would taunt in the arena, which makes sense. So, you know what? I'm the dumb one apparently, but yeah, Graplocked and Klava Puss, super cool Pokemon. Next up, we do have Synesthesia and Poltegeist, who are just, God, ever since these Pokemon were introduced, I've loved them. I am a sucker for inanimate object Pokemon, so as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes. Also, I was very, very happy to see that Poltegeist got a pre-evolution, because Synesthesia is so adorable. And there's also 2 different forms. I talked about this in my video yesterday, which, by the way, if you guys missed it, the weirdest evolution methods in Pokemon Sword and Shield, go check that out. I highly recommend it. But I mentioned that Synesthesia actually has 2 different forms. It has the antique form and the phony form. And the whole lore behind that, just, I think it's super cool, and it just makes it a great Pokemon. So yeah, definitely A+ in my book. Next up, we have Hatena, Hatchrem, and Hatterene, and it's literally just a hat Pokemon. What's not to like? I feel like in every game, they try to make one Pokemon that's like sexy, you know what I mean? Like the last one was Serena. This one, I feel like they tried to do it to Hatterene. I like every Pokemon from this evolution line except Hatterene. I'm gonna say that right now. Hatena, adorable. Hatchrem, you know, still adorable. Its Pokedex entry is a little weird, not gonna lie. But Hatterene, this one's just kind of creepy. I don't know how. Like, I kind of liked it being an innocent hat rather than like a witch, you know, because now it's like a witch and whatever. Either way, that doesn't have to do with how good of a Pokemon this is. I used it in my playthrough for a while, and holy crap, it hits like a truck. However, it is like one of the slowest Pokemon. This thing is slower than a ton of bricks. Its base speed is 29, but that doesn't really get in the way. It's got good defenses. It's got good attack stats. Obviously, special attack really only matters, but yeah, this is a solid Pokemon. Unfortunately, I don't really like Hatterene's design though, but what are you gonna do? Next up, we do have Impotent, Mordrem, and Grimmsnarl. And these dudes, I'm so glad Impotent got a good evolution line. I will say that Grimmsnarl doesn't really look like it's supposed to evolve from Impotent though, other than like the bright color scheme. Mordrem is just like the middle ground between them. It has some of both in each of its design. Like it's got the Impotent color scheme, but it's got the Grimmsnarl like hat or cloak coming over its head, something like that. And then Grimmsnarl is just full out. I don't know what it's supposed to be. To be honest, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I do know that it's a really, really cool looking Pokemon, and it's also a great Pokemon to use. If you find an Impotent, just not too hard to find, they're not that rare. Go ahead and catch it, evolve it, get a Grimmsnarl on your team. You will not be disappointed, trust me. And that's all I gotta say. Also, it's got a super cool Gigantamax form, so there you go. All right, moving on to some of the Galarian Pokemon. I'm gonna kind of get through these a little bit faster because, I don't know, I mean, whatever. All right, Obstagoon, cool Pokemon. Not really anything I can say about it. I love, like I said, the punk rock aspect of it. It looks like it could be in Kiss right now. Like, this Pokemon just needs a stage and some hair metal music, and it's just in full sicko mode. That's what this Pokemon will do. Next, we have Persiker. Not a fan of this Pokemon at all. I don't really see the point to it. I just don't know why Meowth became a Steel type. I can't really understand that. Sure. Got a beard. I'm not too crazy about any Pokemon with beards. Mustaches are cool though. If you're a Pokemon who got a mustache, sign me up. But Pokemon with beards, that kind of just crosses the line for me. So I don't know. Persiker, not my cup of tea. Not awful though. Cursula, super cool. I just think it's, I don't know what it's supposed to be. I'm just glad that they did something with Cursula. It's about time that Cursula got some attention, and it got its like dead Galarian form as well as Cursula. So you know what? I'm definitely a fan. You guys already know I love Surfetched. I don't need to say really much else about it. Using it in a playthrough is really fun too. I didn't end up finishing the game with it. I think I actually took it off my team pretty early into the game. However, it was really, really fun to use, and the evolution method for Galarian Farfetch'd is just so weird. It makes like no sense, but at the same time it makes so much sense, because the leak obviously increases your critical hit ratio. Either way, whatever. But Surfetched, use the Surfetched, that's all I gotta say. Mr. Rhyme, like I said, Pokemon with mustaches, they're definitely fine. They're fine. Beards though, hell no. And this dude, he got a nice mustache. I almost just died while saying that. Jeez. He got a nice mustache. Excuse me. He's also got a cool face down here, but I'm just glad that Mr. Mime got an evolution. And it's kind of weird that they didn't do anything with Mime Jr. though. I will say that. There could have been like a Rhyme Jr. or something, but whatever. Guess they just forgot that Mime Jr. was a Pokemon. Yeah, this is a solid dude. I love he's like an old man. He's a jolly old man with his cane. It's amazing. Next, Runerigus. That's how you pronounce it. Perfect. Like I said in my previous video, the evolution for this method, evolution Pokemon. How far are we into this video? That's how you know that I'm about to start like messing up. But the evolution method for Galarian Yamask, we've already talked about that. It is so out there. It is weird, but I think it's definitely worth it. Runerigus is such a sweet looking Pokemon. Ground and Ghost is a great typing too. But yeah, this is actually, I talked about this in my Gigantamax video. I wanted to see Cofagrigus get a new form or something, like in the top 5 Pokemon to Gigantamax for Sword and Shield. And I'm glad not only did the Pokemon get a form, but got like a whole new reworking to its design and typing, and I'm a huge fan. Back to some of the other Galar Pokemon. We have Milcery or Milcery. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. And Alcremie. And these Pokemon kind of creep me out. Milcery doesn't really look like it's supposed to evolve into Alcremie to me. But it's still it's a cool looking Pokemon. I don't think I would ever use these on my team. But they're cute, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Phalanx, on the other hand, though, when I first saw this Pokemon, I didn't like it at all. I remember I was like, it's a bug type, it has to be, it's like some caterpillar. Why is it a fighting type? It doesn't really make sense. But come to find out, it's actually like 5 or 6 of these like little guys that all just grouped together, and that was it. I was sold. It was such a cool concept. I loved it. It has Defiant, which is sweet. No Retreat is a great move. That's where it like boosts all your stats, but you can't switch out or anything like that. But Phalanx is such a fun Pokemon to use, and I highly recommend doing that. Yeah, definitely A+. Next up, Urchin. I don't see myself ever using this Pokemon. It's along the lines of Pyukumuku, where it's just like cool to look at, but I wouldn't use it personally. Yeah, it has the same opinion as Pyukumuku in my book. It's cool to look at, but not really my cup of tea. Next up, we do have Snom, being the little evolution thing to Frostmoth. I predicted that this Pokemon would evolve kind of like Volcarona, like way later in the game, like at 59, but it's actually, what is it, Friendship at Night or something, so it's a lot easier to get a Frostmoth, and thank God, because this is such a cool looking Pokemon. My dude's got the Pit Vipers on, he's got the no-hater goggles, he can't see you, and Snom is just an adorable little Snom. That's really all you gotta say. So yeah, sweet Pokemon, 10 out of 10 in my book. And I really wish I used one, honestly. I really wish I did. I kind of missed out. Next up, we do have Ice-Q and Stonjourner, and I'm kind of going to talk about these Pokemon interchangeably because, you know, they're version exclusives. They're the counterparts to each other. I used an Ice-Q on my team. I was playing Pokemon Sword, though, so I had to get one of my friends to trade me one. And it's so fun to use. Ice Face is a great ability. It's hilarious. I feel like if I used a Stonjourner, I still would have had fun, too, but I don't know, man. Something about this penguin just makes it like one of my favorite Pokemon, our favorite new Pokemon at least in this generation. It's so fun to use. But Stonjourner, he's like your best friend, dude. Look at how short his arms are. He's been hitting leg day every single day in a row for 2 years. He's got to switch it up a little bit. His arms are looking a little, you know, but definitely a nice guy. For sure, a nice guy. All right, next up we have Indeedy, and both of its forms I'm not really a fan. I'm gonna say that right now. They kind of went for the same thing as like, you know, what's it called? Meowstic, where like one gender, I think the form difference is gender for Indeedy. If it's male, you get like one form. If it's female, you get another. I might be wrong. I don't know too much about Indeedy, but I do know that I'm not a fan of the Pokemon. It's just weird. I'm gonna move on. All right, more Pico. I never ever really liked the Pikachu clones in any generation. Not a fan of Togedemaru. Really wasn't a fan of like Pachirisu and stuff like that. But Morpeko, that's how you say it, is no exception. I don't like this Pokemon. I know I kind of built it up like I was gonna say I did, but no, I know. Hunger Switch is cool. It's got a really cool ability, but something about this it freaks me out, man. It's weird. But Cuffin and Copperage, on the other hand, these are awesome Pokemon. I think they're hilarious. You can actually get a Copperage in the wild area, so you can just run up and catch one. So that's how I got mine. But if you do find a Cuffin early on in the game, look how adorable this dude is. We finally got an elephant Pokemon, and they did it right too. I'm so happy about that. I will say though that Copperage in battle, at the back of it looks pretty weird, just because it's like flat, but whatever. All the fossils in this game are awesome. I love every single one. When I figured out that that's how you got them from interchanging the top and the bottom halves of all of them, I was sold. I was like, yes, that is so cool. And someone pointed out on Twitter that I think that's, you know, back then, I'm gonna get all of this wrong. Okay, but Pokemon Sword and Shield, it's based off of like the UK, right? Apparently, when they put fossils together in the UK, they got weird combinations like this because no one really knew how to put fossils together. So you would get a top half from one fossil mixed with the bottom half from a completely different fossil. So that's kind of what they were going for here with like Dracovish or Arctozolt, combining the top half and the bottom half of two fossils. And that concept is brilliant. I think they pulled it off amazingly. All of these Pokemon are really good too. They're really good. Dracozolt has Beak Bolt, which is an insane move, and then Dracovish gets like Fish's Rend or something. And especially it's broken too, because I think if you move first, it gets double stab, which is insane, or double base power, something like that. But all of these Pokemon are great. I kind of wish I used one in my playthrough, but I just use one. They are amazing in competitive battle too. Next up, we have Duraludon. This Pokemon is sweet. It's pretty rare too, so if you come across one, make sure you catch it. And if you do want to use one on your team, it's definitely not a bad mon either. It has base 120 special, 115 defense, and you can't really go wrong with that. You can't at all. Plus the Gigantamax form looks super cool. So Duraludon, dope Pokemon. I kind of wish it was a pseudo legendary, but I see why they didn't. But to talk about the pseudo legendary, we do have Dragapult, Dracloak, and Dreepy. And you guys already know I'm a huge fan of this evolution line. Dragapult, I think is my favorite Pokemon, or favorite new Pokemon to be introduced. I think Dragapult definitely takes the spot there, with Ice Cube as a close second, but definitely Dragapult. Dracloak is sweet too. Dreepy, I love it. It's adorable, and the best part about Dragapult is that it shoots Dreepies out of its head. I can't get over that, man. I seriously can't. But last but not least, we have the legendary Pokemon from the game, Zacian, Zamazenta, and Eternatus. And obviously, you may not know that Eternatus is a thing, so if you haven't beaten the game, I would exit out right now because I am about to spoil something for the post-game. I feel like seeing the Pokemon's okay, but if you don't want to know what's in the post-game, I would stop watching the video probably right now. But either way, having Eternatus be the Pokemon you catch instead of like Zacian or Zamazenta, you catch Eternatus before the Elite Four. I thought that was so cool how they just mixed it up and they were like, yo, you get to catch Eternatus actually first, and then the Sword or Shield legendary is post game. I just thought that was super interesting. And then you got to take down Zacian or Zamazenta with Eternatus, and also Eternatus is a broken Pokemon. It's so good for taking on raid battles. Dynamax Cannon just destroys things, as well as Zacian or Zamazenta. You can use either of those interchangeably. So on like the battle aspect of all these Pokemon, they're all great in battle. They're amazing. Design wise, I'm a huge fan. I got Sword because I do like Zacian more than Zamazenta. I just feel like the dude holding the sword is a little cooler of a concept than my dude becoming a shield. But Eternatus, that Pokemon is freaking cool. When I first saw it, like as a sprite, or when it got leaked, right? I was like, what the hell is this thing? Like, where is its face gonna be? Where is its mouth? Where is its hands? And it looks so cool in battle, man. You just gotta go see it for yourself. That's pretty much all I gotta say. But that actually is all of the new Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and drop a like. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more Pokemon content. But yeah, I thought it'd just be good to go through all these Pokemon and say my opinion. Overall, I think this generation has great new Pokemon. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I think they gave us a great new amount of Pokemon, as well as just the overall quality of them is sweet. There are only like a few mons that I genuinely don't like or don't prefer from this game, and that's a lot less than other generations. So great job, Pokemon Sword and Shield, on that aspect of like introducing cool Pokemon. So I will say that, and I'll give the credit where the credit is due. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, like I said, drop a like, subscribe, and all like that. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace out.